Loving a Libra is like holding a gold-plated feather in your hand, so light you're afraid to drop it, so precious you don't want to let it go. That they don't arrive to shake your world but to soften it, like a low note in a symphony full of dynamic crescendos. This kind of love isn't loud or demanding, yet it leaves a lingering aftertaste, like the final glow of a sunset. You can't hold on to it, but you keep looking back. Libra loves with eyes that know how to listen, with silences that arrive at just the right moment, and with a heart that longs for harmony, not just in the relationship, but in every breath of love itself. As an air sign ruled by Venus, they're not looking for someone to belong to, but for someone refined enough to walk beside them. They don't love out of lack. They love because they see something in you that makes their world feel whole without needing to change a thing. In 2025, under the transits of Venus, Saturn, and Pluto, Libra is no longer learning how to make love appear perfect, but how to recognize what's real, what's worth keeping, and what's simply an illusion that needs to be released. Each encounter with a zodiac sign isn't a fairy tale romance, but a moment orchestrated by the universe for Libra to experience a unique emotional frequency. Some people arrive to awaken a softness within. Some arrive to test their patience, and some pass by like a breeze, brief yet unforgettable in the way they echo. Through these meetings, Libra gradually learns it's not what makes your heart race the most that stays the longest. It's what brings deep, quiet peace to your soul that's truly worth holding on to. Because love isn't always about the most sparkling moments. Sometimes it's simply the space where you can exhale, be yourself, and not fear being hurt. In modern music, every song is built upon 12 notes within a single octave. The universe is no different. It writes about love not just through obvious emotions, but through 12 deep resonances, mirroring the 12 zodiac signs. Each sign is a different vibration, a chapter of melody that Libra must move through to fully understand themselves and the other person. For Libra, a soul that reveres beauty and harmony, the universe doesn't compose an easy love song. It writes a more challenging piece, so they can learn how to love, how to be real, and how to stay true to themselves through it all. And that melody always begins with the very first note, middle C. A note that is simple, steady, like a beginning you were destined to face. Libra and Aries, the C major note, it sounds like something just beginning to sprout, like the very first feeling, wide-eyed, raw, and full of wonder. Perhaps this is the most paradoxical pairing in the zodiac circle. One symbolizes reconciliation, the other fierce beginnings. When Libra meets Aries, it's the moment a gentle breeze gets swept into a fiery whirlwind. Impossible to resist, and just as hard to stop. Libra loves patience, Aries loves action. One needs time to weigh the options, the other decides in the heat of the moment. But it's exactly this contrast that creates an irresistible pull. Libra sees in Aries a kind of boldness they sometimes lack. Aries in turn feels a rare sense of calm in Libra, a kind of groundedness they've never paused long enough to truly understand. In 2025, as Venus and Mars create a powerful energy field, this relationship can't rely on outer harmony unless both are willing to face conflict head-on. Gentleness needs truth, and strength must learn when to soften. Libra must understand, sometimes conflict is the only path to deep understanding. And Aries must learn, not everything needs to be solved with speed. Some hearts need you to slow down, to listen, not to respond. And if both can stand still within each other's storms, they'll discover that what's worth holding on to isn't the ideal version, but the truest one, however messy it may be. If you're in a relationship like this, take a moment to reflect. Are you truly listening to understand or just waiting for your turn to speak? Because sometimes love doesn't fall apart from a lack of feeling, but from a lack of patience to learn how the other person needs to be loved. Libra and Taurus, the C-sharp major note, a sound that lingers in a quiet breeze, seemingly peaceful, yet slowly sinking in like a longing without a name. Both Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, love, and deeply held values. But while Libra is the wind longing to drift across endless skies, discovering beauty from every angle, Taurus is the grounded earth that needs only one true flower and will stay faithful for a lifetime. When they meet, love doesn't burst like fireworks. It begins slowly through subtle touches, simple conversations, and just enough to awaken something real. Taurus gives Libra the feeling of being held, perhaps for the first time after many fleeting moments. Libra offers Taurus the chance to soften, to breathe a little easier in a life often defined by structure and stability. In 2025, with a harmonious aspect between Venus and Uranus, this is a moment for both to redefine what safety means. No longer about staying the same, but about learning how to evolve together. Yet if Libra keeps bending to please others and Taurus holds tightly to unspoken convictions, they might quietly pass each other by, unaware of what they truly need. One keeps trying to please, one longs to be understood without having to explain. If you're in a relationship like this, ask yourself, am I being honest with my feelings? Or just pretending everything's fine so the love doesn't fall apart? Because love only becomes lasting when both people are free to be who they truly are, not who they think they need to be. Libra and Gemini, the D major note, the sound of wind brushing across piano keys, gentle, swirling, and leaving behind an emptiness not easily filled. This is one of the most fascinating pairings in the entire zodiac. When two air signs meet, love transcends emotion, becoming a game of minds, a harmonic composition of thoughts that have never been spoken aloud. Libra connects through glances. Gemini loves through stories that never seem to end. They don't clash through noise, but meet in a frequency only they can fully understand. Gemini gives Libra the feeling of being understood without being confined. Libra, in turn, offers Gemini their first true taste of what it means to be deeply, patiently heard, something not everyone knows how to give. But in 2025, as Mercury retrograde powerfully affects the air signs, their conversations may begin to fall out of sync. In these moments, words may stop being bridges and start becoming walls. If they don't learn how to pause and listen at the right time, Libra needs to ask, how are you really feeling, instead of assuming everything's probably fine. And Gemini must learn to slow down so that a glance, a touch, can speak where words fall short. Because some emotions can't be explained. They just need space to exist, to be felt, to be honored. If you're in a relationship like this, take a moment and ask yourself, am I truly loving who they are, or just falling for the parts they choose to show me? Because sometimes what we call love is merely a reflection of the things we've never really dared to see. Libra and Cancer, the D-sharp major note, A sound rising from a warm dream, tender like a wordless embrace, yet deep enough to soften the heart. This might be the gentlest pairing in the zodiac, but also one of the most vulnerable. Both Libra and Cancer long for a relationship that is kind, calm, and nurturing. But one seeks balance through reason and dialogue. The other connects through intuition, feeling everything so deeply that no explanation is ever truly necessary. When they fall in love, it's like a warm blanket draped over the heart, soft, light, enveloping. But because they are both so gentle, they often drift into quiet silences. Libra stays silent out of fear of causing pain. Cancer pulls back for fear of being misunderstood. And so, they both retreat, delicately, silently, and end up suffering in the very tenderness they thought would keep them safe. In 2025, under the influence of Venus and Jupiter, this relationship will require more clarity. Cancer must understand that feeling safe doesn't mean hiding all their sadness. Libra must realize that true harmony begins with truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable, because sometimes honesty is the purest act of trust. If you're in a relationship like this, ask yourself, are you keeping the peace for both of you, or slowly losing your own voice? Because love doesn't have to be loud to be deep, but it can't be deep if you always avoid what needs to be said. Libra and Leo. The E major note, a shimmering sound beneath the stage lights, where brilliance touches the heart and shadows begin to take shape. The pairing of Libra and Leo feels like a radiant symphony where love, beauty, and admiration shine in harmony. Both adore elegance and the finer things in life, but they express it in very different ways. Leo loves through light, through recognition, through being seen and celebrated. Libra loves through grace, gentle, unassuming, and quietly present. They come together like two souls who know how to honor each other. Libra softens Leo. Libra strengthens Libra's confidence. But because both crave validation, if neither is willing to take a step back, love can turn into a performance, a stage where both want to shine, yet neither dares to dim the spotlight long enough to reveal what's real. In 2025, the alignment between the Sun, Leo's ruling planet, and Venus invites a deeper question. Is love about admiration or about truly understanding one another? Outer praise must evolve into inner depth, because beauty without sincerity is only a fleeting light. If you're in a relationship like this, ask yourself, are you keeping the peace for both of you, or slowly losing your own voice? Because sometimes silence isn't the way we protect love, it's the quiet way we begin to leave, even while we're still there. Libra and Virgo. The F major note, a sound as precise as the ticking of a second hand, steady, refined, yet quietly capable of drifting away from the original emotion. This is a refined pairing, but one filled with subtle challenges. Both Libra and Virgo strive for perfection, yet they go about it in very different ways. Virgo focuses on every tiny flaw. Libra seeks harmony, even if things aren't entirely correct beneath the surface. When they fall in love, it begins with quiet observation, cautious and reserved. One fears being judged, the other fears placing trust in the wrong person. They wonder, is this person truly sincere or just acting the way they think they should? But if they can move past this initial doubt, their love has the potential to grow deep and resilient. Libra learns steadiness. Virgo learns to loosen their grip, to love without dissecting every detail. In 2025, with a tense opposition between Mercury and Venus, this is a moment when unspoken truths need to be brought into the open, gently but honestly. Not to criticize, but to truly understand one another. Because it's not truth that breaks a relationship, it's silence, slowly widening the gap. If you're in love with someone like this, ask yourself, do I have the courage to let go of the things I can't control, just to hold on to what really matters? The connection between two hearts? Because sometimes, the harder we try to hold something tight, the more we lose the very thing we only ever wanted to hold gently in the first place. Libra and Libra. The F-sharp major note, a sound echoing from two instruments in perfect sync, so beautiful it becomes fragile, like a harmony that can easily shatter without sincerity. Loving someone just like yourself is like stepping into a maze without a map, where you feel safe, yet quietly fear you'll never find the way out. When two Libras fall in love, everything feels soft, graceful, and perfectly composed. They understand each other down to the tiniest detail, the subtle glance that avoids conflict, the gentle smile that conceals what should have been said. But because they're so alike, they often slip into long stretches of silence. One yields, then the other, and neither dares to be fully honest. Both are afraid of hurting each other, of disrupting the beautiful image they've worked so hard to protect. But love can't truly grow in a space where both people are simply playing a part. In 2025, as Venus, their shared ruling planet, forms a powerful alignment with Pluto, it's time for real questions to be asked. No more, are you okay, but are you exhausted? No more, everything's fine, but do you feel alone? These simple words, spoken with courage, can open a door to all the emotions hiding behind the quiet. If you're in love with another Libra, try saying what you truly feel, not to upset the balance, but to rebuild it. This time, not on what's merely pleasant enough to keep the peace, but on something deeper: honesty. Because the most lasting kind of harmony always begins with truth. Libra and Scorpio. The G major note, a deep echoing sound in the dark, quiet yet powerful, as if every vibration is summoning something you've never dared to face. If there's one connection that's both magnetic and challenging, it's the one between Libra and Scorpio. One is light, like air, graceful, diplomatic, always striving to keep things balanced. The other is deep, like underground water, intense, intuitive, and never satisfied with surface-level truths. When they fall in love, it's not born from lightness, but from contrast. Libra may find Scorpio too heavy, too intense. Scorpio may see Libra as too light, too almost enough. And yet, they're drawn to each other like opposing forces because each holds something the other lacks, desires, or has never dared to fully explore. In 2025, under the intense tension between Venus and Pluto, this relationship enters a phase where truths can no longer be avoided. Libra must realize that not everything can remain beautiful on the outside if it's falling apart within. Scorpio must understand that not all softness is fake. Sometimes people are gentle because they're holding themselves together with everything they have. If you've ever loved a Scorpio, or if you're a Libra in a bond like this, ask yourself, am I trying to keep everything okay? while deep down, my heart is aching for a connection that's more real, more raw. Because some loves aren't meant to be perfect, only brave enough to dive deeper, even if that depth feels like a storm. Libra and Sagittarius, the G-sharp major note, a sound that bursts forth in the midst of adventure, full of laughter, full of freedom, yet no one really knows where it will lead. This is a pairing built on freedom, but also one that can drift apart, simply because each defines freedom in a very different way. Libra values freedom in emotional harmony, in moments of feeling understood without having to fight for it. Sagittarius values freedom in movement, in being fully themselves, without explanation or restraint. When they meet, love feels like a gust of wind sweeping through an open field. There's laughter, movement, and the sense of truly living as your most authentic self. Sagittarius opens Libra's world, breaking through polite boundaries and social filters. Libra, in return, helps Sagittarius pause, to listen, to notice, to find beauty in what once seemed too small to matter. In 2025, under the influence of Jupiter, Sagittarius's ruling planet, and Venus, a deeper question emerges. Does freedom belong in love? And if it does, what does that really look like? If Libra keeps trying to maintain peace, they'll grow weary from constantly adapting. If Sagittarius keeps chasing distant horizons, they may not realize someone's quietly waiting without asking for anything. If you're part of this pairing, ask yourself, are you truly giving each other freedom or simply stepping back out of fear of deeper connection? Because real freedom in love doesn't mean walking alone in different directions, it means moving toward each other, even as you keep your own rhythm. Libra and Capricorn, the A major note. A steady, grounded rhythm, like footsteps echoing into the distance. Few words, few missteps, yet enough to command respect and stir a quiet longing for what remains unspoken. Libra and Capricorn move to very different rhythms. One lives through subtlety, connecting through glances and moments too delicate to name. The other lives through responsibility, composed, unwavering, often hiding emotion behind a mask of control. When they fall in love, their connection doesn't bloom in sparks. It builds slowly, like a carefully stacked stone wall. Capricorn gives Libra a sense of security, proof that love isn't just a feeling but a steady presence. Libra offers Capricorn a kind of softness, a reminder that real strength doesn't always mean carrying the weight alone. Sometimes it means allowing yourself to soften. In 2025, under the combined influence of Saturn and Venus, this couple will be called to learn a deeper way of sharing. Not through logic or duty, but through emotion, even when those feelings are messy, tired, or unresolved. If both keep being strong in silence, pretending they're fine, this love may become steady but distant, reliable but quietly lonely. If you're loving like this, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this love still growing or just surviving because you've both gotten used to never changing? Because a relationship only truly lasts when it still inspires you to grow, not when it's held together just to avoid falling apart. Libra and Aquarius. The A-sharp major note. A sound suspended in mid-air, unreachable, untouchable, yet leaving behind an echo that lingers, strangely haunting. This is one of the most intellectually captivating pairings. Their connection doesn't begin with a heartbeat, but with conversations that stretch across time, with knowing glances and the uncanny sense of speaking to a mirrored version of yourself in another dimension. Both Libra and Aquarius are air signs, lovers of freedom, space, and the kind of connection where two minds meet without needing to own one another. When they come together, love feels like a current of pure energy, unpredictable, electric, a little distant but never dull. Libra helps Aquarius touch emotion, to listen not only with the ears but with the heart. Aquarius helps Libra break free from the need to please everyone, to live with more truth in what they want, believe, and are becoming. In 2025, with the powerful shifts of Uranus and Venus, this couple may feel moments of disconnection, not because love has faded, but because neither one dares to step closer. Libra waits for a gesture, a hand to reach out. Aquarius waits for a reason that makes sense. And just like that, a silence forms between two souls who understand each other deeply, yet say nothing of what they truly need. If you're in a relationship like this, ask yourself honestly, are you being so rational that you've forgotten how you feel? Are you clinging to logic so tightly that you forget sometimes just showing up in quiet presence is what heals most? Because it's not words that bridge the deepest gaps, it's presence, the kind that stays, listens, and doesn't try to fix what simply needs to be felt. Libra and Pisces. The B major note, a sound that falls gently, like early morning rain, dreamy, dissolving, and making the heart forget it ever tried to control how love should feel. Libra and Pisces are two souls who love through gentleness, through beauty, intuition, and a quiet belief that real love can touch without words. When they meet, the world seems to slow down. Everything softens, warms, and melts into a melody, weightless yet saturated with feeling. Pisces gives Libra something rare, the feeling of being understood without having to explain. Libra offers Pisces a space beautiful enough to be fully themselves. No need to be strong, no need to be logical, no need to justify every sadness. They love like two streams flowing into one, no hierarchy, no roles, just the quiet truth of being with you is enough. But in 2025, as Neptune and Venus form dreamlike alignments, this love may become more fragile than ever. Both tend to drift into fantasy. Both may idealize each other so deeply that they forget. Love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And people are not dreams, they are real. So if you're loving this way, ask yourself gently, am I loving who they truly are or who I wish they could be? Because real love doesn't come to help us escape reality, it comes to make reality worth staying for, together. No matter how gentle Libra's love may seem, it has never been about ease or passivity. They choose to love not only with their heart but with deep intention. In every connection, they seek beauty, depth, and a harmony that doesn't just feel right, but lasts. And through each note of this journey, from the brightest love songs to the quietest melodies, Libra has learned to open their heart, to let go of control, and to be more honest. Honest with others, yes, but especially with themselves. Because every person they meet isn't just a partner, they're a mirror. In 2025, Libra isn't asked to love perfectly. They're asked to love truthfully, to be grounded enough to stand steady, and tender enough to keep reaching, even when it's difficult. Thank you for walking through all 12 notes of this love symphony with Libra. If this journey struck a chord in you, leave a comment below. What's your zodiac sign? What lesson is love teaching you right now? And which zodiac note would you like to hear next? Don't forget to watch the next video, The Love of Virgo, when a rational heart learns how to trust its feelings. Because this journey isn't ending, it's only just beginning. With a single look that touches something you've never dared to name,